We will hopefully be able to check out some of the yesterday's statistics as well as rankings on top of that, but we might have to hold on for a couple of moments. Respector PACO are currently on the server. That is a team consisting of Exodus, Madrigal, TIG, and Chance. And Exodus has actually spent like a week in America. I think he's in Ohio for a week before coming to QuakeCon. So
really?
They actually managed to play a couple of games together.
A couple?
Yeah.
How many is a couple?
A couple.
2.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what to expect there. Chance, I mean, speaking to some others, Chance is kind of his own worst enemy in the way he could be an amazing dueler, I think.
That's a pity because he's so nice to everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. He's not nice to himself. But going with Exodus, he's been a top-level CTF player, been a part of the Expendables and other very, very successful teams in the European CTF. We have got stats, though, that we can go up with, because we saw them towards the end of yesterday. And yeah, this is just, if you look at the net and Noctis, it's just what is going on there, basically. It's just absolutely unbelievable. Latromi, though, topping their kills, meter, lots of excellent suppressives for everybody, fast hitting tons of rails. I guess you'd expect that. I'm not sure what kind of stats we're going to get after the CTF, but I think we might. I've asked for some lightning gun accuracy.
What I like about this, actually, what I really find fascinating, and a lot of the discussion over the seeds was, we have a lot of players here with a lot of individual skill, but how are they going to be able to play as a team? You'll notice that the only top 3 stat here, actually in Meltdown, is Lincoln. For average damage dealt. I mean, I cannot overemphasize how well they just played together as a unit, as a team. Yeah. And I think the stats kind of reflect that. Nobody kind of rose up above everybody else, but they just were solid.
No, exactly. And, Zyrinx was playing out of his mind as well, keeping up with his teammates.
I mean, the stat we really need up here is people who haven't died very often. I mean, I don't know if that would fit on the card, but
yeah. Well, I guess
Zyrinx would be at the top of that.
The net there, Noctis,
right.
Even though they're coming sort of 3rd or 4th, I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
We've got maps as well that have been picked between Foundem and Respective PACO that's just coming in. So we've got Infinity first, and then we've got Spider Crossings.
Of course.
And then Jap Castles at the end.
Yeah,
so
this is a solid lineup. And I wanted to mention Madrigal on PACO as well.
I know you're very close to him.
Yeah, well, he's a fantastic CTF player, especially if we're going to be able to see him on
fantastic human in general.
Well, yeah, that too. And it was a little bit of a surprise seeing him on this team. But as you mentioned, nobody else on his team is a slouch, so they should have a lot of good synergy.
This is how quickly can they blend together. They have played very little with each other as like a unit of 4, obviously, because Exodus is sitting in the Netherlands most of the time. But I don't know. I see if they've managed to come up with some strategies. Infinity, it's very difficult for me to tell what would be the best map for Respector PACO. I guess they're trying to just get the chat riled.
Again, we're mostly here to gauge the relative performance of Rafa and crew, and see how PACO kind of synergizes. But yeah, guys, that's the first match that we're going to be covering. Of course, there's a lot of them going on as well. We were kind of debating looking at Break and Crazy's Cartel, but I think we're going to get an opportunity to see at least one of those teams, maybe even both, over the course of the day.
Yes.
Of course, we've got a Meltdown and Don't Let Zorak pick, and they were kind to us. They changed their tag to MVPs, so we'll actually have a way to pronounce that if they ever show up.
Yeah, Don't Let Zorak pack, they actually were managing to have some relatively close practice games with Crazy's Cartel at that point. So I don't know if that says much about Don't Let Zorak pack or if it says something else about Crazy's Cartel, because I've heard there's been some turmoil within the team. There've been some angry discussions after the warm-ups, and I think they're trying to really sort of settle themselves and get themselves into the right mindset for the game. And I think they were also keen not to have their first game streamed as well. So we'll see what happened, though. There's probably going to be some 8-0s in other rounds. I think that definitely if Respector PACO are able to just pick themselves together, they'll be able to get maybe a cap or 2. Because right now, the overriding census has found them are not going to make top 4. And that's not me. That's not me saying that. That's people I've been talking to.
Wait, you just did.
Yeah, well.
So now you're responsible.
I mean, I didn't create that prediction at all.
Yeah. But no, I think their overall vibe is that they might be underperforming a little bit. So this is why we're here and why we are kind of squinting our eyes at them.
Yeah. It is nerve-wracking though for them because they've had a player change quite a lot. I know there's been a bit of stress as well where Clock and 04 almost didn't even come to the event which would have left Rafa on his own. So there was definitely a lot of
which might have hurt their
downs,
chances
and
a little
maybe
bit.
Mostly downs.
Yeah.
So I'm very nervous about Foundom, and I hope that they are able to scrape some points together, because otherwise it might end up just being Rafa trying to lift his own personal trophy in the duel, which is still possible.
He would actually have company there. I mean, taking a look at Evil's team, he's playing with this is the most random thing. It's like 3 Americans and Evil.
Yeah. That was another one. We were thinking of doing Ghost Squad versus Evil's team, but we're thinking, if we want to stream Ghost Squad, then we want to stream them in maybe a game which is a bit more challenging.
We might have an opportunity soon in the next round.
That's definitely something that we are keeping our eyes peeled for, because they are bringing the hype quite a lot to themselves, really, and I think it's slightly contagious. I've just been going around and just talking to everyone. Did you hear what Ghost Squad said? Did you hear what they said? Oh my God! Did you see how they didn't practice?
They're an enigma, and you know, we've been playing this a while. We've been seeing these guys for a while. We kind of know how people stack up, and to have a team come in that, to us at least, is a total mystery is exciting.
I think the first practice game they had against AIP, the AIP was like, these guys from South America, they've got a secluded, sort of isolated community. There's no way they're going to be a threat. And like 5 minutes later, they're like, jaws dropped.
That's
on
like
the floor.
your
how are we
stereotypical
playing?
Sports movie underdogs thing.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. And the fact they're going into the tournament with very little
Not that I'm saying
information
that AIP is Cobra Kai or something.
But there's such an aggressive playstyle for the Chileans. The AIP guys, I was in their hotel.
That's what I've heard.
They don't play defense. They literally don't have a guy in defense. They're just in mid and further forward than that. And I was like, what? Yeah. That's not typical of
you say that, and maybe you saw games different than I did, but at least some of the practices I saw, they were playing a little bit more back than that. Well, but again, the smoke screen in practices, you never know. It's always a mystery until
exactly. This is when it counts. And I imagine that there's going to be a bit more noise being made as the rounds go on by all the teams.
We might hear it out here.
Kadito from Crazy's Cartel, I mean, you can hear him on the other side of the hotel.
The first thing I heard when I was walking in here today was him. Yeah, it's very distinctive.
The hotel is like 2 square kilometers in size, and you can hear him from like literally the other side. This is Infinity,
which is also 2 kilometers in size. Infinity is a huge map. A lot of fairly large atriums as well. Pretty comfortable corridors. Nothing too claustrophobic. And it's going to be first match.
They got the rail underneath in the water now.
Yeah, it's going to be. You were commenting earlier that this might actually be a little bit more difficult for FM, just because they want to be a little bit more rail heavy. God bless them. But they're going to need to get wet to do that.
Exactly, and it's quite annoying because you're so vulnerable when you go into the water over there. That being able to get a rail to each of your teammates, and that's why I'm always so nervous about Ghost Squad. We'll see how that impacts into the game. We're getting started. Game 1 here, QuakeCon 2015, Day 2, as we get into the CTF division of the Tri-Masters Tournament. And I am on Exodus off the beginning. He just had the yellow injured by his defensive teammate.
And he's making a push right into middle already, clashing with Rafa already, so I think we can already tell who our junk rushers are, but here comes Saigib to pull him on down. Again, a lot of shotguns in the bottom middle. It looks like somebody wants to go swing for a rail, but Saigib actually looks like he just wants to push right on forward. Exodus is coming back around to clamp that down.
We've only got 1 power-up that spawns in the middle of here, so we will only have 1 to watch, but Rafa has already got a touch on the flag. And you can see up at the top that we've got this little sort of flag running.
There's where he is really. He's going to be on the run now. He was just waiting for somebody to commit one way or the other so he can push out the other side. And man, he is flying. He's getting a little bit of an LG push, but it's not a friendly one, so he's going to get knocked down.
Saigib's got it, but he's pretty weak at the moment. Surely there's going to be a rush, and they can't get the cap in the first 1 minute. That would be devastating for PACO. But Clocks now has it. He's got about 84 health. Is there anything they can do to stop him? Exodus trying to get some damage going. He's looking all right, but the players are absolutely all over him. I think they're going to
where did he come from? And Madrigal's there as where they're saving it. They got the return. Madrigal's now on the run. I have no expectation of him getting very far, especially if he's running in the walls like that. Madrigal, but he's got quad. He's got the flag.
What's Madrigal going? It was like in the mountains of Canada. That was just tremendously slow. I think maybe
my heart would be beating out of my chest at that point.
Exactly. Because they could really have gotten the first cap there. He was just, I think the strafe was just...
So I think it's fair to say that we're seeing PACO play significantly forward right now. Exodus is trying to push in himself. He's doing a lot of damage on 0-4 on the flag itself. Does he have anybody to help him out? But he takes down 0-4. defensive player knocked on down, and now Exodus is just looking for an exit and hoping that no teammates get in the way of his flying corpse. As Saigon takes him down, flag's raining down, and he's going to get it.
I'm loving the pressure from Respect to PACO. I think it's excellent. I think Exodus is doing an amazing job with that. Saigon now going in. He's found Exodus once more.
He's going to get pushed out completely, but Chance is already there. But we've got 3 players on the flag. This is going to be a relay race, if nothing else. Rafa on it right now with only 15 health. He wants to drop it off, but nobody's on point to pick it up for him.
Clock don't want to take it, or is he just going to fend him off and wait for the mega? Rafa's not really that. What?
I wouldn't expect Clock to have timing issues.
But they should have information. I mean, it's just Chance there. He knows everything. He's like, he's going out left, and there we go. Magical's going to pick up the flag again, so good defensive play.
So FM playing 3 players on the flag. That's optimistic, to say the least. Yeah.
Very interesting the way that they're doing it, actually, and I'm going to have to be... I'd like to change it. I put follow killer off, but I think I reconnected the server and it got upset with me. So I will do that momentarily.
Not your fault.
Chance there playing a defense, so I'm really sorry about that, guys. But Exodus 1 health. Yeah, the greatest going to happen. Oh god.
So one of the new things with the spectator HUD is you can actually see the progress of each respective flag up top, and actually it's pretty cool.
This is difficult now. Rafa in the middle, he's got quad, he's still got a bit of armor, and there's just no damage whatsoever. He might get himself a clean.
Nobody's here.
And he's going to drop off the
quad. Sure.
But he didn't even see anyone there. 0-4. He's the guy in the tournament with the most amount of earned money. I think over 160k he has made from playing Quake. And right now he's just a quad has run out. And he looks like he wants to play offensive.
So 1 flag up, but I got to say, I mean, for one thing, Foundem is playing extremely aggressively, and PACO's actually responding to them fairly well. I was almost expecting somebody to be back in Foundem's face by the time that Rafa made it back there, but no such luck, and we've got 1 flag up for Foundem so far. We're going to see if we see another run. We have the flag dropped off for Clock going back the other way. This is a good diversionary tactics for sure. Clock Foundem is playing extremely aggressively at this point, but he's juking it up once again, especially as yellow armor spawns. That seems to be coming into mid with a clear path. Everybody's mad to see him now, but it's too late now, and this should be a clean. See if we see another run.
I like the route that he's like actually. That's pretty tricky little rocket jump he did afterwards as well. Very nice, and you could tell in the respect to PACO were just absolutely clueless of his position. They thought he was going to go on the right side, and then, you know, you can predict the middle, but
I mean,
expertly done.
In CTF, you're always calling out where the flag carrier is coming, but if 3 of them make it in and you don't know who has the flag, it's kind of hard to make that determination.
Yeah. Switch around the players, got 0-4 trying to defend against Exodus. He gets a flag touch, but not a whole lot more.
But they are getting touches. That's a positive point.
For quite a lot of them as well.
Alright, so Exodus is going to find Clock, and Clock's going to take him down as he moves his way towards the flag himself. As a fresh spawn, he's going to try to just body block him, if nothing else. And Clock's not going to have a huge stack coming into the flag, but look at all this aggression. We have a weak teammate on the other side of the map as well. But they're just willing to wait it out until everybody's in the right position to make the grab. But Chance is responding fairly well. He's got Plasma ready here, but now we've got 0-4 in charge of the quad. Clock taken away. Ooh, enemy Mega as well. That's not going to be helping PACO much at all.
And 0-4 still got the quad and helping out the defense. Oh, trying to push him across, but getting in the way. Going sky high over here, and this should be another cap very soon now. I think that was Exodus sitting in the blue base. But he's going to run it to the end. No issues whatsoever. And you know, it's a shame after the first couple of minutes where I respect the PACO were managing to find some good aggression. It's like, where has that energy gone? Where has that approach to this map?
Well, it's easy to lose it when you're dealing with, you know, 3 players in the base and the other one is just timing quad, and he's just coming in with the quad. I mean, we've seen a lot of like quad handoffs here on FM so far.
Yeah, they're pretty slick with their handoffs. Absolutely.
And I love the sneaky play from quad.
I think you got noticed. Yep.
Yeah.
But
Rafa's actually there to cover him as well. But now we've got Exodus actually sneaking himself, making a great rocket jump down, 66 health. Rafa spawns in front of him. He's able to take him down. He's on the bottom mid now.
Where's the teammates? Where are
the teammates? Is it going to be returned? There it is.
And now we've got Clock, so everyone was in defense for respect to PACO, and Exodus was on his own. He had to get through mid with, you know, no harm done to him. But that was not the case, and we're going to get a quick 4-0 right now. This is not what we wanted to see. And respect the PACO, there's just been an absolute sort of communication breakdown, I think. Exodus is probably, I know that he was getting a little bit irate in some of the practices. He's probably wanting a little bit more help when he's trying to carry the flag across mid. Because a lot of times when we see a one-sided game, they're not even getting the flag out of base. Sometimes they're not even touching the flag. But Exodus is doing a very good job at that. He's just got nothing backing him up. You can't play one-man attack.
Alright, but Clock here down in mid. And they haven't actually been focusing on defending mid or keeping mid too much here. We've had one player kind of clearing the path, but Clock is going to be in and out of there most of the time. And there are already 4 caps up, only 7 minutes in. And again, he goes absolutely silent as he makes his way into the enemy base.
This squad's going to be spawning in just a second, and it's going to be 0-4 on it again. Chance hurting a little bit, but 0-4 bringing that, and he doesn't want to drop the power up. He's just going to just blow his face off and collect a good starting stack. Yeah. It's a lot easier to get weapons on CTF than it is on TDM, so you'll be seeing people killing themselves probably quite frequently. But Rafa, 200 out, he's managed to find a yellow armor as well, immediately just melts him.
How many of the PACO's megas and yellows have gone over to FM as they're making their push in? And this is so dangerous, but we've got 0-4 with the last few seconds of quad and the flag now ready to relay it back to base. Only 22 health. Is anybody going to be there to stop him? Nope. It's going to be number 5 already.
Psycho. This might be a quick double cap actually, but he's only got 35 health. There's going to be kind of the light reflecting off the walls around him. They should have found his position. They need to get this back. Do not let the 8-0 happen. 8 is the maximum amount of caps.
I feel like if PACO had a more sort of traditional play on their own defensive flag, they would have much more awareness in their own base on where the flag runner is trying to push out from. But right now we got 0-4 prepping for this next run. I like that 0-4 has just been hanging back, you know, taking quad, moving in when everybody else is dead.
I think he's just staying by flagging, hoping for the best. He's not really able to stack up a whole lot. So the one thing that, you know, Exodus is doing, I feel in a way he is carrying the offensive part of the team, is he's able to keep doing damage to 0-4. But we've got Rafa at the moment, pretty injured.
Going to be taking a bit of a dive here. I don't know if anybody saw him or heard him, however, so as he comes back into mid, it's still going to be a huge surprise to PACO as he makes his way back into the base. Not even stopping for the yellow armor as they make cap number 6.
Boom, 2 caps now for Rafa. They're looking for 2 more. They might even be able to close it out before the halfway mark. It's not out of this world. I'm going to check out Exodus again, actually. See what he's able to do. Because he has been pretty solid. Hasn't really been able to play with the rail, because it's such a tricky position to get. But we're going to move away from Exodus as he dies to 0-4 after he picks up the power-up.
I haven't seen FM really focus on the rail too much at all. Their LG and Rockets have just been able to carry them the whole way.
I think they're defending successfully. Yeah, Chance has managed to keep a hold of the base, gets the quad himself. Is he going to launch a bit of an attack at the moment? He really should do something with this.
Looks like it's going to be easy prey there.
And if I were him, I would have maybe given the quad over to Exodus, something like that.
At least take over mid with it, yeah, absolutely. As you said, halfway through, and we're almost close to match point for Founder.
We haven't seen much of the tool, actually.
It looks like PACO's now kind of collapsing on their flag a little bit more and trying to get some more awareness of their own base, which is, you know, it's a large base. You have a relatively small mid and just a lot of potential exits from the base here. And so in that respect, you almost need more mid control, but we haven't seen much of that from PACO either.
They're trying to call some pressure on their attacks. Respect to PACO's attacks aren't quite sort of simultaneous. You really need 2 people getting the base at exactly the same time. And they're going a little bit one at a time, which is negatively affecting them somewhat. Clock trying to go here for the 7th tap. He's pretty weak. Exodus again getting another touch on the flag. I mean, he's had quite a few. Let's go flick over to Clock. Oh, Rafa with the flag even.
Ooh, he's going to be taken on down, but it's relayed right on over to 0-4, and they're going to really get that return. And the cap number 7, Exodus, once again trying to make a junk rush into the Fountain base. He's going to get pulled on down. Chance is pushing in. Okay, yeah, that's full tilt mode when your D player is trying to rush. And that shift can sometimes happen on maps like Troubled Waters, but here it's more of a desperation move.
No matter what happens at the moment, if it's 7-0 down, it's like, yeah, everyone's going to have to leave the base if you want to try and get anything. But Clock, he's picked up the Mega recently.
This right-hand path has just been consistently open for FM. Thanks for that 25. Somebody's going to take the quad. It's going to be 0-4 once again. I think he's touched every single one so far.
That's actually death, actually. I'm surprised he managed to pull that off.
Magical's got quad, but no weapons to back it up. Nice rail out of TLG. I think we've seen PACO using the rail much more consistently than FM so far, but it's not really winning them mid.
Possibly. 0-4 is really stacked. There's 10 seconds left, so he should be able to get over to the flag. Well out. many hiccups.
He's got a great stack here. Chance is actually pushing and playing that a little bit more forward than he needs to with only the grenade launcher. I mean, he's dying so often, he's not able to stack up defensively.
Oh, Exodus.
Grab weapons.
All right, we might have a bit of a cross cap.
Well, we'll see. I mean, Exodus still needs to make an exit here. He's only down to 10 health. He's not going to get very far with the flag at all.
That's
and
be
there it is.
You could see this sort of flag just running closer up at the top of the scoreboard. As the closer it gets, the less likely you're going to be able to get out of there. But again, Exodus getting quite a lot of touches. 9 flag touches. Foundem got only 12. 3 more flag touches. But you see 8 of them were successful caps. At the beginning, Respect the PACO, if Magical was able to speed up a bit, we could have seen a 1-0 for Respect the PACO. And you know the amount that would have done to their morale, I think that would really help them focus. As soon as they lost that and Foundem was able to get their first cap, they're like, we lost such a big chance.
I feel like players' ability to kind of find the right meta for Infinity is still kind of developing. You know, it's not a map that's played a ton. It's certainly not been around as long.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot of maybe question marks on where to position.
Absolutely, absolutely. We are going over to Spider Crossings now, which is definitely a much older map.
Yeah.
3 power.